There we go. Mm-hmm. Okay. All right, I show it's 4:30, so we'll go ahead and call to order the City of Bella Vista Planning Commission meeting. If you would call the roll, please.
Ellis.
Here.
Corner.
Here.
Plesson.
Here.
Sudbury.
Here.
Portillo.
Here.
Jewell. Here. Lloyd.
Here.
All right, we have a quorum. Next up is our meeting minutes from June 12th.
I make a motion to be accepted as submitted.
Second.
Got a motion from Farner and a second from Lloyd. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, meeting minutes are approved. At this point, we'll have our public input session. We do have several public hearings tonight, which we will do on those rezonings. But if anybody would like to address the commission for something that is not on our agenda, now will be your only opportunity. And if you would, come up to the podium and give us your name and address. All right, seeing none, we'll go ahead and close our public input session. We have nothing under unfinished business, so we'll move right into new business. We have rezone 2023-48834, request to rezone the subject property at 1870 Bella Vista Way, known as the Kingsdale Maintenance Facility, from P1 Conservation to C1 Neighborhood Commercial. Mr. Jones.
Yep, like you just said, this is a request to rezone the property along Bella Vista Way, servicing the Kingsdale Maintenance Facility. This is a meets and bounds rezone request, so it's not the 145-acre property in question, it's just 1 acre. And then the exhibit for that rezone is on page 12 of the report. Nothing has changed since the work session. We've received no comments from the public or utilities. Just to reiterate, though, the bulk and area requirements for this area that's under question has been met for the C1 district. Similarly, the requirement to be adjacent to neighborhood areas so as to provide those neighborhoods with commercial needs has also been met for the C1 district. Furthermore, the future land use plan identifies this property under the golf course section of the future land use comprehensive plan. The current historical use reflects that usage, and it does not reflect the P1 district's purpose to provide publicly accessible open space. Given that, staff recommends approval based on the analysis provided above. And then as far as like an aerial image of where this property is, on page 10, you can see that this 1 acre section straddles 2 parcels, and it encompasses the building and the driveway in front. Staff has no further comment, and the applicant should be present.
Okay, any questions for staff? Is the applicant present? Would you like to add anything to the staff report? If you would just give us your name for the record, sure.
Sure. Thank you, Ruben, for that explanation. Doug McCash on behalf of the Bella Vista POA.
Turn his mic.
Mr. Judson was scheduled to be here this evening, but his wife had a surgery, so he was unable to attend, so I'm here on his behalf. Mr. Jones has explained the rezone application and have no further comment at this time other than to answer any questions the commission may have.
Any questions for the applicant? All right, this is a rezoning request. We will have to go ahead and conduct a public hearing. If there is anybody in the public that would like to address the commission concerning this request, if you would come up and state your name and address,
Thank you.
and we will give each of you 5 minutes to address the commission. So at this time, we'll go ahead and open the floor.
Larry Wilms, 109 Mayfair Drive, Bella Vista. I would speak in support of the rezone request before the Planning Commission.
All right, thank you. Is there anybody else that would like to address the commission concerning this rezone request? All right, seeing none, we'll go ahead and close the public hearing. Commissioners, it is back to you. Just real quick for everybody in the public so that you understand how this works. The commission actually does not vote to rezone this property. We will, on each one of these items, we'll just make a recommendation to City Council, and City Council will actually be the ones that take action on these requests. So with that, Commissioners?
I'll make the motion to recommend to the City Council rezoning request 2023-48834.
Got a motion from Klesson.
Second.
Second from Farner, I think I heard first. If you go ahead and call the roll, please.
Farner,
Yes.
Wilson,
Yes.
Sudbury,
Yes.
Portillo,
Yes.
Jewell, yes, Lloyd,
Yes.
Ellis,
Yes. All right, that will go on to City Council July 24th, will that be right? Yeah, on July 24th. All right, next up we have rezone request 2023-49581, a request to rezone a subject property at 15120 Jack Crabtree Road, known as the Medfield Secondary Maintenance Facility, from P1 Conservation to C1 Neighborhood Commercial. Ms. Workman.
Thank you. This staff.
Rotate that microphone towards you, please. We're having a lot of noise from the ceiling tonight up here.
Better?
Get close to it. We're going to need to really hear you. Thank you.
Got it. Can everyone hear me? I'll just yell. All right, this is the POA requesting to rezone Metfield Secondary Maintenance from P1 Conservation to C1 Neighborhood Commercial. This is a meets and bounds request. It's a 1 acre tract of a 59.65 acre property. This site is developed with an established commercial use, not impacted by the floodplain. The request meets the C1 bulk and area regulations. No public or utility comments have been received. All legal notifications have been met. Staff is recommending approval of this request. Happy to take any questions.
Are there any questions for staff? Does the applicant have anything you'd like to add to the staff report? All right, we'll go ahead and conduct the public hearing on this. If there's anybody in the public that would like to address the commission, if you would come up and state your name and address for the record, please.
Larry Wilms, 109 Mayfair Drive, Bella Vista. I would speak in support of this requested rezone.
Thank you. Is there anybody else that would like to address the commission concerning this request? All right, seeing none, we'll go ahead and close the public hearing. Commissioners, back to you.
I have a little trouble getting behind this one, just given the area that it's in. I mean, it's quite a ways outside of the established, zone we have for commercial mixed-use developments. I think comprehensive plan does a great job of setting out the vision of Bella Vista. I think once we start peppering in non-residential zones across town and not kind of keep to that vision, it starts to break down. So, those are my comments.
Any other comments from commissioners? If not, we'll entertain a motion.
I make a motion that we send this on to the city council with a recommendation for approval.
Got a motion from Farner,
Second.
second from Portillo. Call the roll, please.
Portillo?
Yes.
Farner?
Yes.
Lloyd?
Yes.
Dool? Yes. Sudbury?
No.
Klesen?
Yes.
Ellis?
Yes. All right, this will be heard at the July 24th City Council meeting. Next up, we have rezone request 2023-49824, request to rezone the subject property at 10 Dundonald Lane from P1 Conservation to R1 Residential Single Family. Ms. Workman.
All right, this is going to be on page 27 of your agenda packet. This subject site was platted with a 1976 private residential land use restriction. Contiguous properties are developed with an established single-family residential use. This request supports the policies and goals of the single-family district. The bulk and area regulations of the district have been met. Arkansas Department of Health has approved a 2-bedroom septic at this location as of July of 2022. One public comment was received by planning staff this morning, and that has been placed on your desk for viewing. All legal notifications have been met. Staff is recommending approval of this request. Happy to take any questions.
Is there any questions for staff? Is the applicant present, and would you like to add anything to the staff report? Yes, sir. If you'd come up and just give us your name and address real quick, or... Okay, that's fine. Do we have any questions for the applicant? All right, seeing none, we'll go ahead and conduct the public hearing. Is there anybody in the public that would like to address the commission concerning this rezone request? Yes, sir. If you would come up and give us your name and address, please. And we'll give you 5 minutes.
You can take that on. That's Mandy Davis, 8 Dundonald. This lot is adjacent to our lot, and the size of this lot that they're trying to change is very small, and it'll be putting it's a house on each side of this. And one of the things is your sewer drainage or whatever. It sits up in a lot next door, which will probably be 12. It's way below, and you're going to get some leakage through there at some point in time. Just knowing how septic system do over time, and it's going to be they're going to be jamming a house in between 2 houses, and it's going to be as close to setbacks as you can, and that area. It's a pretty good area to have a little bit of space between houses.
Okay. All right, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Can you repeat your name one more time?
Andy Davis.
Thank you, Andy.
Yeah.
Is there anybody else that would like to address the commission concerning this request?
I'm Mary Farmer. I'm at 12 Dundonald.
I'm sorry, can you say your name again, please?
Mary Farmer.
Can we help her with her microphone?
Mary Farmer at 12 Dundonald Lane,
Okay?
and I live on the other side of the lot. And I agree that the lot is very, very small. The lot that they're wanting to build on, it's a very small area. And I am concerned as well of the septic system running off onto our property, because it would have to run off somewhere. And it seems like it would be too small to build on with the septic system. So I would deny it.
Thank you. Is there anybody else? Yes, sir. Now, are you coming up as the applicant or as a public person?
I'm actually a public person. I'm the applicant's realtor.
I can come up as
well. What we'll do is we'll close our public hearing and then give you all a chance to rebut the comments that have been made by the public. Thank you. Is there anybody else from the public that would like to address the commission? All right, seeing none, we'll go ahead and close the public hearing. Gentlemen, if you want to go ahead and come up to the microphone for us, please. Yes, if you would give us your name, please, real quick.
Yes, my name is Joseph Hayes.
And you represent?
Meadow Lakes Construction, Rob Nelson.
Okay, yes, sir.
You know, when we got this lot under contract, we closed on it. We didn't even realize it was a conservation lot. I guess the tile company, no one really noticed that. So we went through the process like we do on all of our new construction homes. And it's 0.32 acres, so that's a pretty decent sized lot for Bella Vista. It's already been approved through the health department for a 2-bedroom septic. So there shouldn't be any issues as far as building a house on that lot. And pretty much all the other, there's several homes on that street. So I feel like it conforms to what's currently there.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
All right, commissioners.
Can I come back to a question?
Yes, ma'am.
Is this the one that everything else in that subdivision was zoned residential, and then this just random lot?
Right. That is correct.
Right. But
So
we don't know the history of why. it was
we do
done.
not know why it's green on the 2018 adopted zoning map. However, it has a private land use restriction like the neighboring properties do. It's standard size. Typically on subdivision plats, if they have a restriction on them, or if they're for common property, the plat denotes that. It doesn't have a lot number, it says common property or reserved. This one has a lot and block. It's standard with a land use restriction on it.
So just a mystery how this one lot ended up.
Do we know
Correct.
who owned it previously?
I can take a look. But while I'm looking that up, I will note that this does technically exceed the R1 single-family lot size. The topography drops at the rear, but it's just a little bit below street level. It's a standard R1 lot. We actually have the house plans for this site, and it's a 1,600 square foot, on one level, 1,600 on the second level. It's a standard single-family residential lot.
I would think that this would go back to the time where from the very beginning, after.
It's a mapping error.
Well, I think.
From when we did the first rezone years and years ago, so there's some sort of error that was made.
I think we pulled county records, and everything that fell underneath of a certain criteria automatically we placed as a P1, if I remember correctly. If it showed up.
Imagine how that would have been different than all that.
Than all the rest of the subdivision around it.
But it depends on, like I said, if it showed up as being owned.
It is obviously zoned that.
Yeah.
Intentions at this point.
I mean, I was looking at the lot frontage and stuff like that. I mean, it's got the same lot frontage as the two lots across the street, and it's consistent with a lot of the lots within that plat.
And really what we're doing is making it equivalent to everything else in the neighborhood.
Yeah.
So this lot was picked up from a private IRA company. It wasn't from, CCI or the Property Owners Association directly. There's no replat on file for this lot. And I have a copy of the proposed floor layout if you'd like to see it.
Well, normally we don't talk about.
Yeah, we can't really talk about that for rezoning. That's fine, thank you. All right, commissioners, any other questions or comments? Yes, ma'am.
I just want to point out that this lot is actually 85 by 169, which is wider and deeper than a lot of Bella Vista lots that have already been built on. And since the Arkansas Department of Health has already approved the septic permit, I don't think that should really come into our rezoning issue.
Any other questions or comments? If not, I'll entertain a motion.
Motion to approve, or motion to recommend the city council for approval.
Okay, we got a motion from Sedberry,
Second.
second from Lloyd. Call the roll, please.
Portillo?
Yes.
Farner?
Yes.
Lloyd?
Yes.
Stoll?
Yes.
Sudbury?
Yes.
Wesson?
Yes.
Ellis?
Yes. This will be taken up by City Council on July 24th at 6:30 PM for those in the public that wish to attend that council meeting. Next up, we have rezone 2023-49795, a request to rezone subject property at Lambeth Road and Mercy Way from R1 residential single family to C1 neighborhood commercial. Ms. Robertson.
Okay, we have another meets and bounds request before us tonight. It is actually 2 parcels, but it will be by meets and bounds. So there's one subject area that is 17.83 acres. However, it does involve 2 separate parcels. It is currently zoned by our adopted zoning map as R1 single family. It is surrounded by commercial. If you'll see on the staff report page on page 35, there is commercial C3 to the west and to the south and to the east. It is a commercial node. Our future land use plan denotes this as a future community destination, which is our most intense future land use zone on our future land use plan. Based on that above, staff is recommending approval. Staff will note the applicant is only requesting a rezone to C1 neighborhood commercial, the lesser of the commercial zones. Staff did want to note to you tonight that also this area could also support a C2 light commercial area. And I'm also recommending to you tonight to exclude Sugar Creek or the floodway and zone that as P1 per our section of code 10971A, which sets the intent of the P1 zone, which includes floodways, creeks, streams, intense topography or areas that really shouldn't be developed. All legal notifications were met. Staff will note I did not get a public comment. However, I did get a question about what's going to be built here, and I directed them to the applicant. They had no comments for me to go on the public record. You may know that this property also has a lot of white rock on it right now. That is a project that's been going on for a couple years. They have their grading permits from us and the applicable and required permits from the state, including floodplain development, including also a clomer. The flood zone has been adapted from that rock. But you may have noticed recently the rock has moved a little bit. That is after they've received FEMA approval and our approval. But again, that project's been going on for at least 2 years. And that's all I have to add. Happy to take any questions.
Any questions for staff? Does the applicant have anything they'd like to add to the staff report? You would give us your name, sir, and who you represent.
My name's Gene Gross-Close. I represent Cooper Communities. I would like to reiterate that we do have Emory staff working under the grading permit that was issued by planning earlier, and we simply seek to utilize it as residential property. We think it's the use is absolutely appropriate for that particular parcel, and we'll work with staff on developing the exact perimeters of the P1 as far as the zoning is referred to.
So you don't have any issue with leaving the floodway as a P1?
I think the floodway would be a good thing to utilize in developing the P1, but we're developing the floodplain right now.
Yeah, okay. All right, any questions for the applicant?
Thank you.
All right, thank you. This is a rezone request. We'll go ahead and conduct a public hearing. Is there anybody in the public that would like to address this rezoning request? All right, seeing none, we'll go ahead and close the public hearing. Commissioners.
Well, I think we ought to recommend to the council to approve them, but you want to do them both, or you want to do them separate?
Well, we just got, we got to do separate.
Okay.
We got to conduct separate public
I make a
hearing.
motion that we recommend to the city council approving number 49795.
Second.
Okay, we got a motion from Farner and a second from Sidbury. If you call the roll, please.
Farner,
Yes.
Sudbury,
Yes.
Wesson,
Yes.
Stoll. Yes. Portillo,
Yes.
Lloyd,
Shouldn't that motion include the exemption of the floodway as P1?
There's no further debate here.
Oh, I'm sorry. I would have to say no then.
Ellis,
Yes. All right, next up, we have rezone request 2023-49912, request associated with 49795 to rezone the subject property north of Mercy Way at 110 Lambeth Road from R1 Single Family to C1 Neighborhood Commercial. Ms. Robertson.
So that was the report I just went over. So there's two reasons, because there's two parcels. So this will be the rest of that meets and bounds request. If you do consider or taking my recommendation, I do recommend doing that in the recommendation for this one. If you do want to exclude floodway. But yes, this was the report I just gave.
All right, does the applicant have anything they'd like to add to this staff report? Seeing none, I will go ahead and conduct the public hearing. Is there anybody in the public that would like to address the commission concerning this rezone request? All right, seeing none, we'll go ahead and close the public hearing. We can go ahead and, commissioners, back to you for discussion. Would you like to make the recommendation on this one?
I recommend we send this forward to city council with the floodway remaining as P1.
We have a motion from Lloyd.
Second.
Second from Dool. If you call the roll, please.
Sudbury,
Yes.
Stoll. Yes. Portillo,
Yes.
Lloyd,
Yes.
Farner,
Yes.
Wesson,
Yes.
Ellis.
Yes. All right, these two will also be heard at the July 24th City Council meeting. This takes us to our last item of business. We have the Bella Vista Action Plan endorsement for the Northwest Arkansas Regional Planning Commission's Regional Bike and Pedestrian Plan update. Ms. Robertson.
Okay, I do have one new thing in this report for you tonight, and it's at the very end. Since they went digital, we discussed this last time, the map that's included in the actual action plan is a little groggy. It's hard to see because the intent is that you click on it and it takes you to an online map, a working map that they're currently working on. So that way you can just look at it on your phone or on your tablet or whatnot where you've got it. So I did include a enlarged PDF version of the map for tonight's purposes. If you didn't want to click on the online map, you've got a PDF in there now. However, other than that, I don't have anything new to add other than what we discussed. I did just kind of want to go over what the process will look like. We are updating our 2014 map, our 2014 plan, regional plan, bike and ped plan. Just the action plan part for it's Bella Vista specific. So it's a 4 to 6 pager. It's been slightly updated. We went over individually every single item that was either new, kind of altered, or the same as our goals from 2014 at the work session. None of those have changed since we last discussed them at the work session. And that's all we're kind of focusing on tonight. So what the plan will be is that we come through now with this action plan via an adoption, so we will recommend tonight, if you choose to, adoption of the Bella Vista Action Plan to City Council, and then via resolution, City Council will adopt this action plan, and then that gives the green light to Northwest Regional Planning Commission to include this in the larger plan that includes all 32 cities that are included in that regional plan. And then once that gigantic document is updated, we sent you a link on Thursday so you can see the current one. Once that whole item is updated, I will return to you and we will endorse the large regional plan that will include this adopted action plan. So you will be viewing this twice technically, but this is the actual adoption, and then later you guys will vote to recommend endorsement to City Council, which will go to them through another resolution. I'm happy to take any questions. Yeah, happy to take any questions.
Any questions from the commissioners? I guess I just have one. I mean, do we have to endorse this in order to be eligible for grants and things like that?
That's a good question.
For trail construction and, I mean, at least as far as grants that are managed by the Regional Planning Commission?
Probably, I'm not sure. We can check on that. I don't want to speak on the record for sure, yes or no, without verifying, so.
Yeah. I'm more curious than anything else.
We need a motion.
We don't have to conduct any public hearings or anything on this one, do we, sir? Okay.
Do we send it on to the council for approval? Or
We just make a recommendation.
Same as something.
Same as the zoning, yes, sir.
Recommendation to adopt.
I'll make the motion for us to make the recommendation to adopt the regional bike and pedestrian plan update.
We got a motion from Klessen,
Second.
second from Portillo. Will you call the roll, please?
Wesson,
Yes.
Floyd,
Yes.
Portillo,
Yes.
Dool. Yes. Farner,
Yes.
Sudbury,
Yes.
Ellis.
Yes. All right, that ends all of our new business. That takes us to open discussion. Is there anything for open discussion tonight?
Staff would like to update you on where we are with the RFQ for our development code reform. We met with our Teresa Nichols, which is who won the RFQ proposal today, to start the negotiations. And we have a little bit more timeline that's set in stone. We're aiming for an 18-month-long timeline. And should we get everything ready to go in August with city council approval for funding and things like that, the tentative start date on this project is September 1st. So that is the update I wanted to give you guys today. Just keeping you guys updated in the know.
Anything else? Commissioners? All right. With that, city announcements, we'll have a city council work session on Monday, July 17th at 5:30 p.m. Their regular meeting will be on July 24th at 6:30. We will have our next work session on August the 3rd at 4:30 p.m. with our regular meeting on August the 14th at 4:30 p.m. And with that, we stand adjourned. Thank you all.
Bye.